One tricking isn't fun. It's so boring. That's a common sentiment from the average league student that I meet. And you guys want to know what's really not fun? Losing. I'm so sick of tired of hearing people say one tricking is too boring and mundane and they shouldn't one trick. You guys want to know how to really win more games? You have to one trick. Okay, so real quick, why should you listen to me? I've been a pro player for the last 3 years and I've been challenger for the last 4 years. I've also coached hundreds of people in my Discord server who've had so many results here. I can scroll up all the way here. It's too much to scroll up to. Okay, I've also hit rank 2 in solo queue, and I know a lot about one tricking. So I'm gonna tell you guys why you should one trick today, the reason why it's so powerful, the thought process, and really break some stigmas that you guys might have around one tricking. I think a common problem is the community really hates one tricks, and let's talk about that. Let's jump right in. The first thing you hear is I shouldn't one trick because the community like hates on it. If I'm a one trick, then I'm bad at the game. If I'm a one trick, then I'm not actually my rank. You see people who abuse Shyvana or Udyr or right now maybe Teemo or Gwen. They get to Diamond, they get to Emerald, and people say they're not good. They suck. They're Diamond. They're not really Diamond. They're fake Diamond. They're gonna lose LP the moment they get out of that rank. Let me tell you what, guys. They're just a fan. They're jealous of you, and they will actually never hit that rank. Most of the time, the people who are actually the same rank as you are not saying those things. It's the people who are like really low rank that want to say those things, that are jealous of you. It's just so annoying when people say that because they themselves, if they wanted to climb, they would one trick. And that's how everyone really does it. Everyone one tricks to get high elo in the first place. Once you're high elo, you decide what you want to do after, whether you want to keep one tricking to get past diamond, to go from diamond to go to, masters or grandmasters or challenger, or you get to, change your champion. But now you have the choice now that you're higher elo and you're not stuck in low elo. But really, guys, if someone said this to you, just ignore them. They're probably just jealous of your success. That's the biggest thing that like the community really talks about this. They're jealous of your success, truly speaking. If you're a challenger player and you one trick, just feel proud that you're a challenger. If you're a diamond player and you one trick, feel proud. If you're gold, feel proud, bro. Like you are better than a large portion of the community. And just know that one tricking or not, you are that rank. Let's go to the next slide here. If I one trick, I will be hard stuck later on. So guys, being hard stuck later on is a really big concern for a lot of people, and I get that. But what I want to clarify, like I said earlier, you have to one trick to get high elo in the first place. That's literally how everyone does it. That's how they initially get high elo in the first place. Everyone one tricks to get high elo. Griffin one tricked some champions back in the day to get high elo. I one tricked. Tarzan one tricked. Like Graves. Surdy one trick Camille and whatnot. Let me go ahead and show you guys some players here. There's this guy is ranked 2 right now. Look at his top 2 most played. Just first champion, 90 games played right now. 90 out of his like 200-ish games. 90 of them are on one champion. Now, obviously, he plays more champions and he's a challenger player, so he knows more about the game. But that just proves that people still at the top are still one-tricking their champions. We have Kenby over here, former pro player, or still he is. I think he's still trying to go pro. I'm not 100% sure, but I just want to show you guys. Look, 61 games played on Graves, and the rest are like 20, 20, 20. So he's still, great at the game. But most of his champions, or most of his games are on one champion. It's so important to understand that you need to play one champion to hit high elo in the first place. I was a Kane one trick back in the day, and I would have never made it to challenger if I didn't one trick. It just I would never would have happened. And it's simply the best way to climb because you're going to have less variance in every single game. And we'll talk more about that in the next slide here. But it really is the best way to climb and get out of low elo, get out of any elo you're in. People do it to get high elo in the first place. They still do it to maintain. There's a reason why Faker, Azir, and Orianna is so oppressive. It's because those are just like top 2 most played champions. If you look at his professional career rank stats, Orianna and Azir are like 50, 60 more games than every single other champion. And it's like even in pro play, a Faker is playing very, very, very few round champions because that's just how it is. That's how the league is. You're so much better on those champions. You should play them. Let's take a look at the next slide here, guys. The mindset. I want you guys to picture yourself. You have this little stick figure here, and we're gonna think about this in like real life perspective. Go back in time, or maybe now this is something you guys now. You're applying for colleges, and you're getting in this mindset of, okay, I want to focus on a specific subject, math, science, business, or whatever it is. For me, I'm going to use business, and you're presented with, okay, I can't just be broad. I gotta be very specific. I gotta find my niche. I gotta find within business, what focus am I going to have here? Finance, marketing, accounting, administration. I'm sure there's so many more I don't even have here. Investment, real estate. There's just so much more stuff that you need to find your niche in. And the problem is that if you don't target one specific niche, and from my perspective at least, you're going to be a little more behind than you would be. I'm sure people thrive and they're fine, not declaring their major for a while. But realistically, if you had just chosen the one you want to do and commit to it and really just stay strong and learn everything about it, you're going to be way more well equipped than if you do a little bit of finance and then I'm gonna try marketing. I'm gonna try accounting. Actually, I'm gonna try administration. Oh wait, dude, never mind. I want to get into math. Actually, dude, science seems better. Ah, I don't feel science. I don't feel math. Maybe I want to drop out. There's just all sorts of crazy things that people do, and it's like, it's much more difficult in real life because there is a lot of gravity. It's the next few years of your life, but I want you to look at it the same way as one tricking. This is a specific champion. This is a specific champion. All these guys are champions, and the less time you spend learning this one champion, the harder everything will be. Pick that one champion and keep getting good at that champion. And then you'll complete the mastery on the champion, you'll get your degree, and then you can push that further. Or now that you have this degree, now that you have this proficiency on this champion, you can transition that into going further and getting your PhD, your master's, getting a really crazy good job. Or you can go and learn the next things about a different degree, a different champion. And a big thing I want you guys to really understand is what we cannot do if you guys, I just don't want to listen to me. The one thing I ask of you not to do about one tricking is if this is like business, you cannot get into things like science, because what happens is this is the equivalent as a farming jungler versus a ganking jungler, or a frontline jungler versus a backline jungler. It is so hard to draw the lines and the comparisons between the two. At least if we chose business and something within the business related, economics, okay, it's gonna be a lot better than if we did business and science. There's not much that relates with each other. So if I'm choosing to still play two champions or still do different things, I want to play frontline. Okay, so tanks versus bruisers. That's what I want to do. Bruisers and tanks, or farming junglers and semi farmers who are good at ganking and farming. I want to have a little bit of both because it's easier to learn everything that way. So when you're thinking about, okay, do I want to commit to a champion or not? It's so important to just commit to it. And obviously it's a lot easier to do it in the game than in real life because, well, the life is way more impactful, I would say. You choose one champion, you can stick with it. I advise you guys to play hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of games on the champion you choose. Let's jump into the next slide here. So let's talk about commitment here and my climb to rank 2. I'm going to tell you guys a story, and I'm going to first show you guys the image here. So this is when I peaked rank 2. I actually hit rank 2 with a 60% win rate. This is the same LP, but a few people dropped ranks. I hit rank 2 and it was great. But the problem before getting rank 2, I was actually sort of hardstuck. I was hardstuck top 100. Okay, well, not really hardstuck, but I was get kept at rank 100 to rank 75, 50, and I couldn't break past top 100. 50 to 100, I was stuck. I was unsure how to get to rank 1 to 49. How do I make it here? And what happened is every time I lost games, 5 loss streak on my 2 main champions, which was Jarvan and Viego, I would tell myself, I need to change my champions. I can't carry games because my teammates are too bad on Jarvan. I need carries. I need to play a more carry champion. I need to play Lilia. I need to play Nidalee. I need to play Graves. I need to play Lee Sin. And I'm like, okay, like on top of that, like I can't farm fast enough on Jarvan or Viego. I need to play a farm. I need to play Karthus. I need to play something else. And I always told myself I'm lacking something. The champion is lacking something. I lost 5 more games. So now I'm like rank 150. And I'm like down, like 200 LP. At like 200, 200 LP. And I'm like, dude, what is wrong with me? I am the best Viego and Jarvan player on the server right now. I am so confident on these two champions. I need to play these two champions. The moment I told myself that and I committed to it, I'm like, no. It's not the champion's problem. It's me. I'm doing something wrong. It's my gameplay. The moment I committed to Viego and Jarvan and I told myself I am the king on these champions, I'm the best on these champions, I hit rank 2. I successfully won every single game. And out of every single game, or out of a lot of these games, what would happen is I would lose. And I would acknowledge that, yeah, Jarvan can't farm that well. And yeah, Jarvan's not that hard of a carry. But what I did was I perfected the Jarvan style. I perfected farming and ganking and teamfighting and everything I could be good at with that champion. So guys, when you are playing your champion, you need to trust your champion that you're playing. You love the champion for a reason. You play it for a reason. Commit to it. Don't blame the champion. So I'm going to show you guys what it sort of looks like on my OPGG. So there's my 65 win rate on Jarvan. There's my 62 win rate on Viego. And I just got really good at the champions. And you can see, like, when I hit rank 2, this is back in 2023, like November time, I was able to get, like right before November, I was able to get, rank 2 because I just played Jarvan and Viego. And then you have some, like, Kindred games where I'm going negative win rates, and like, Wukong and Poppy, and it's like, I played some Graves, and I'm like, what's going on here? I had some support games, there's my Lee Sin right there, man. Like, what am I doing? Why am I playing Lee Sin? So, hopefully you guys see the picture as to, you should really one-trick and commit to the champion. The champion's not the problem. So, to reiterate, the problem is normally you guys. The problem is not the champion. It's not the variables within the game. It's what you do when given the information around these variables. When given the fact that when you load up a game as Viego, you are not a hard power farming jungler. You're just not. Or when you load up the game as Karthus, you are a hard power farming jungler. You being unable to adapt to those variables is the bigger problem than the champion being bad or the champion not suiting my style or something. It really is about you and your gameplay, and somewhere in your gameplay something's going wrong, and you should focus on that. And one-tricking helps you remove all the variance in the game. What I mean by this is there are over 1,000 like abilities and passives in the game. There's 168 champions, 169 with them best, I believe, and there are so many different abilities. In order to keep track of everyone else's, the first things first is you need to keep track of your own. How long are all of your cooldowns? I ask many of my students, hey, do you know how long Samira W is? Or Anivia W, or Anivia Q? Or what about Viego W, Viego E, Hecarim E, Hecarim W? And they're just like unsure. They give me an answer that like sometimes is right, sometimes it's completely off. If you're unsure as to what other champions' abilities are, it's going to make it much, much more difficult for you to be able to climb. And this goes for your own champions too. If sometimes you play, Viego, and sometimes you play Jax, and sometimes you play Lee Sin and Nidalee and all these other champions, tracking all the variables, all the limits, all the damage you can deal, and the cooldowns is all over the place. It's going to feel so much more difficult than if I just play Viego every game. I know my limits, I know my build, I know my items, I know like the damage for my items, I know everything about the champion. Then it's way easier to deal with the actual problems. And the last thing is, everyone can do it. I think there's every single role has with a dedicated champion. Everyone has hit challenger with a dedicated champion on the role. So you can't hit Yuumi and play Yuumi jungle and hit challenger. You can't play Yuumi and hit challenger like that. You can't play like really unorthodox things. You can. People make it work. Like I had a student who was a Quinn jungle player who like got to masters or grandmasters, And like I think he has potential to get to challenger. Like it's weird. Like Quinn jungle is weird, but it's possible for sure. It's for a fact that all of the dedicated junglers, top laners, mid laners, ADCs, and supports, there's been someone who's one trick the champion to challenger. Now challenger's top 300. Masters, like for sure. Like for sure. There's people who played literally almost everything, like random things, like Heimerdinger jungle, Fiddler's jungle, random crap. But they're just so good at the champion that they're able to get really, really high rank. So my 2 cents to you guys is everyone can get to Masters baseline as long as you one trick. Baseline. Alright guys, let's take a look at the overview here because that's pretty much it for me. That's pretty much my, quick 60-minute talk as to why you should one trick and why it's so annoying to see people not one trick. Just to recap guys, one tricking is by far the best way to climb. It is so important when you're looking to climb in League of Legends. I don't want to see you play a bunch of different champions. It'll help you win the game the most. Next thing is commit and don't stop playing that champion. What I'll see is someone will play 100 games and will just like drop the champion. I'm like, no, I want to play something else. It's like, I get it, and I'm not asking you to, stick with it forever and just like hate your life. But I am saying is like when you choose a champion, you should like be very diligent about what champion you're gonna be willing to commit to. Think about you have to marry this champion. Like you're married, you're locked in with a champion. And that way you'll feel less anger towards the champion and more anger towards yourself, or you'll use that energy to improve on yourself and not improve on the champion. So yeah, that's like goes into the next thing. Like the champion is truly, truly, truly not the problem. And hopefully the stigmas earlier helped you guys, the ideas that the community sort of has, at least from what I've seen. And overall, hopefully this sort of helped some people get back on track to climbing. And as always, if you guys enjoyed these conceptual videos where I do a little slides, a little presentation, please let me know. And if you have any ideas, also let me know. If you made it this far in the video, I really appreciate it. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe. And once again, join the Discord if you want to be part of, a flourishing community. Everyone's like still active right now. They're still talking. Someone in the dojo right now trying to play probably. And yeah, I hope to see you guys there. Anyway, I'll see you guys around. Peace, peace. Have a wonderful rest of your day, time, night. Bye-bye.